beneficiary moving from one facility to another facility for getting services. In the same flows, we also talked about high-risk pregnancy tracking, where let's say the beneficiary was marked as a high-risk pregnancy, maybe due to weight conditions or anemia conditions. So whenever we capture those indicators in RCH, the beneficiary will be marked as high-risk case. We will be able to track those conditions separately in a separate module, is what we have seen yesterday. Yes, so, and then also we talked about the beneficiary abortion cases. We also talked about the beneficiary death cases also, how we can add a beneficiary abortion as well as beneficiary death in RCH system. And of course, we also talked about the digital MCP card, Mother and Child Protection Card, where we can see the basic details of the beneficiary on this MCP card, and it is also available to be printed in a card format, like a credit card format, where it can be laminated and given to the beneficiary. And the next time beneficiary, they don't have to remember anything, they have to just bring their QR MCP card, and based on the QR code which is already there on the MCP card, the health provider can directly search for the beneficiary using the mobile application, which is the ANMOL app. Then we moved on to the delivery details, where we talked about both of these forms that are required, delivery preparedness as well as delivery details. Delivery preparedness basically takes into account test data that was captured during EAC, or if it was not captured, then it becomes a mandate for the delivery center to capture these data before they can proceed for delivery outcome details. And in the delivery outcome details, we are having the provision to capture both the date of birth, time of birth of the child, how many stillbirths were there, how many live births were there, what is the type of delivery, and all those necessary details that are part of every delivery outcome. So now today we'll be proceeding with the child registration flows. Let me switch over to the application now. So this is a beneficiary which is already existing in the RCH system. This is an ABA verified beneficiary, and let's try to add a child directly for this beneficiary in RCH. So when we click on verify or register a child, then this form opens up. So in this case, there is a provision in RCH to create the BAL-ABA of a child beneficiary. In case there are no Aadhaar details available for a child beneficiary, the parents' Aadhaar details, ABA details are used to create a BAL-ABA for the child beneficiary. So here, what do we have to do? In case the beneficiary, like the parent or the guardian, already has an ABA number, so all we have to do is, while registering a child, we have to click on this link or create ABA button. And both these, there are two options which will open up for every child beneficiary. In case we have the child's Aadhaar details, we can register the child directly, or if we don't have the child Aadhaar details, then we can create a BAL-ABA using the parents' details. So we will cover the BAL-ABA flows here. Now let's say we already have an existing ABA ID for a beneficiary BAL-ABA, then maybe we can use the verify flow. But if we don't have an existing BAL-ABA ID for a beneficiary, child beneficiary, then we use the create flow. So here I am going to request my team member to give me the OTP. Just give me a second. We've got the OTP from the registered mobile number of this beneficiary, and when we click on submit, then it asks us to fill in more details. So we can probably add a profile picture directly in this page. We can add the name of the beneficiary, child beneficiary in this case. We can also add the date of birth of the beneficiary, and we can also specify the gender. And then, just like yesterday we saw that there is a consent process, so here also that same consent process is similar consent process actually is utilized. When we click on submit, then we can see that a new BAL-ABA for this child beneficiary has been created in RCH, and the details have been populated as we filled in the form. So name of the child, gender, date of birth has been populated, date of registration, time of registration is taken for the system date, and then time of birth for the baby can be mentioned here. Then few other details also can be added. What is the relation of this beneficiary who is registering this child with the child? And then facility details also will be auto-populated based on the logged in user, but it can be changed if required. Also, what is the ASHA that will be tagged to this beneficiary for future service references? And of course, the date of visit can also be entered as part of this flow. Then we also have a provision to add the father details as well as the guardian details. So in case where father details are available, all we have to do is click on yes, and the name and phone number can be added. If guardian details are available, then in that case, name and guardian phone number can also be added. So when we click on save and submit, we can see that the baby has been added under the child tracking module. So this is the beneficiary, basically the parent or the guardian, and under the parent or guardian we have a module called child tracking. Under this child tracking module, whatever babies have been added in RCH will be visible always, and they will be sorted by latest date of birth, habit or that way. So if you want to start giving services to this child, all we have to do is come inside the child module of this beneficiary, child beneficiary, and we can start to give the service. So in RCH, there is no concept of independent child. A child is always linked to either a parent or a guardian. If we are not able to register a child beneficiary directly from the external flows, which I am talking about actually here, this placeholder button, a child will already be registered in RCH using the parents or the guardian details, which means you have to go inside a parent to register a child, and independently a child cannot be registered in RCH. Okay, so we yes, ma'am. You can I think edit the name of the child, which is this provision is already given. And let's say if you are using the ABA number of the child, and on the ABDM side the ABA number, the child name is actually the correct name, then it will populate it from ABDM.
It gets it from somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. It will get it from either ABDM or other details based on what flow you are using.
How many children can listed in the mother's name? Then when do we change it? Once the child comes to immunization? जब तक बाल आभा के बेस पे चाइल्ड रजिस्टर्ड है तब तक नाम एडिटिंग का ऑप्शन रहेगा। जैसे ही उसका एक्चुअल आभा बेस हो जाए जब उसका एक्चुअल क्या
जब बच्चे को उसके एक्चुअल आभा से लिंक कर दिया जाएगा तो नेचुरली उसका आधार बेस नेम आ जाएगा। उसका जब री-केवाईसी होगा तो फिर एडिट तो री-केवाईसी के बाद एडिट करने का ऑप्शन नहीं रहेगा।
कि अगर हाउ मेनी चिल्ड्रंस कैन बी एडेड थ्रू बाल आभा, मान लीजिए ट्विन प्रेगनेंसी है, ट्विंस पैदा हुए या ट्रिपलेट्स पैदा हुए, इन दैट केस
यू कैन ऐड एनी नंबर ऑफ बाल आभा कैन बी क्रिएटेड यूजिंग मदर्स डिटेल्स।
ओके, बेबी नंबर 1, बेबी नंबर 2, बेबी नंबर 3।
करेक्ट।
और ये चेंजेस तब तक पॉसिबल होंगे जब तक कि या तो उसका बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट ना बन जाए। बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट में अगर उसका नाम जो लिखा हुआ है, अगर वो नाम नहीं लिखा है, बेबी ऑफ मदर लिखा हुआ है, तो आप इसमें ऑप्शन आपके पास अवेलेबल है कि चेंजेस कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट में अगर बच्चे का नाम लिख गया तो फिर आप एडिट नहीं कर सकते, या उसका आभा बन चुका है उसके बाद में चेंज हो सकते, या उसका आधार बन रहा है। इन तीनों में से अगर कहीं पे भी कोई डॉक्यूमेंट्स अगर पे बेबी का नाम लिखा हुआ है तो फिर आप उसमें चाइल्ड का नाम चेंजेस नहीं कर सकते। और इन फ्यूचर्स में हम ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि इसको हम लोग एक्सप्लोर भी कर रहे हैं कि साथ साथ किसी पोर्टल से उसका हम बाल आधार भी हम क्रिएट कर सकें, और साथ साथ हम CRS के साथ हम इंटीग्रेशन कर रहे हैं तो उसका बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट का प्रोसेस भी हम लोग ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि इसमें हम इंक्लूड करें।
वो क्रिएट करते हैं ना, तो आईरिस नहीं चाहिए होता बच्चे का, सिर्फ बच्चे का फोटो कैप्चर होता है, बाकी तो मदर या फादर जो भी उसके आधार नंबर पे होता है। हाँ, जिस भी पर्सन का आधार के बेसिस पे बाल आधार बन रहा है उसको ऑथेंटिकेट किया जाता है सिस्टम पे। बाद में जब बच्चे का आधार बन जाता है तो एपीडीएम के पास ये भी मैकेनिज्म है कि जो आपने बाल आधार क्रिएट किया है उसको बच्चे के ओरिजिनल आधार के साथ, कि बाद में नहीं तो ये इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी का इशू बनेगा। आधार तो तभी बनेगा जब वैसे भी 5 साल के बच्चे तक का मतलब बायोमेट्रिक तो होता ही नहीं, कैप्चर ही नहीं होता। इसीलिए 5 साल से नीचे के बच्चे को हम लोग थ्रू पेरेंट भी रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं। RCH 1 में इंडिपेंडेंटली बच्चे को रजिस्टर करते थे, यहाँ पे वो सिस्टम नहीं है। बच्चे को रजिस्टर करना है तो पहले आप उसके किसी भी पेरेंट या गार्जियन को रजिस्टर करिए, उसके थ्रू चाइल्ड ट्रैकिंग के जरिए ही आप बच्चे को रजिस्टर करेंगे फॉर दोज किड्स हु आर बिलो 5 years of age।
ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ డీటెయిల్స్ పట్టకుండా డైరెక్ట్ యాడ్ చేసుకోవడం, అదే పనిలో ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇప్పుడు అదే మదర్ ముందు రిజిస్టర్ చేయాలి, తర్వాత చైల్డ్ చేయాలి।
देखिए बच्चे को डिलीवरी के टाइम तक RCH एप्लीकेशन में रजिस्टर करेंगे, नेचुरली बेबी ऑफ मदर्स नेम आएगा। मैंने आपको अभी बोला था कि जब तक बच्चे का एक्चुअल आधार पेज आभा सिस्टम पे नहीं आता है तब तक बच्चे का नाम एप्लीकेशन में एडिट करने का ऑप्शन है।
डिलीवरी కాకుండా డైరెక్ట్
तो आप बेबी ऑफ से चेंज करके फिर उसका एक्चुअल नाम डाल सकते हैं। बेसिकली एक्चुअल नाम आप अगर आधार में जब डलवा देंगे री-केवाईसी करेगा तब तो ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा नाम, और बिना री-केवाईसी किए अगर आप बच्चे का नाम एडिट करना चाहते हैं तो टिल द टाइम वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने बाल आभा के बेसिस पे है, आप एडिट कर सकते हैं।
मतलब यहाँ पर सिंगल है।
नहीं अदर लेकिन 2 चीज है, एक तो आपने बाल आभा के बेसिस पे क्रिएट मतलब पेरेंट्स का डिटेल यूज करके बाल आभा क्रिएट किया, जब तक पेरेंट्स के डिटेल पे डिपेंडेंट है बच्चे का आभा तब तक बच्चे का नाम एडिट कर सकते हैं RCH को।
తర్వాత అభావం అనుకో వాడికి కేవైసీ
उसको मत कनेक्ट करिए,
కేవైసీ లెక్కిందేసి మళ్ళీ కేవైసీ అప్డేట్
उसके बाद जब आप
అందుకే రీకేవైసీ
करते हैं तो
ఇచ్చారు
RCH तब आपको मैनुअली एडिट करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। इसमें आपने एक ऑप्शन देखा होगा कि बच्चे को आप उसके एक्चुअल आधार से रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं या पेरेंट्स के आधार पे के बेसिस पे रजिस्टर करोगे। तो अगर एक्चुअल आधार पे रजिस्टर करोगे तो इसका मतलब तो आपने आधार में एक्चुअल नाम डलवा रखा है, उसका आधार बनवाया है बच्चे का, तो वो फिर तो उसका अपना खुद का आभा बन ही गया, वहां पे फिर एडिटिंग ऑप्शन नहीं रहेगा क्योंकि वो तो एविडेंस हम लोग लेकर आ रहे हैं।
मतलब क्या है,
वो हम लोग कर देंगे, वो SOP हम लोग इशू कर देंगे।
सर ये ऑथेंटिक जो आधार सेंटर है तो वहाँ जाके बच्चे का नाम चेंज करना होगा या ये पोर्टल से होगा? सर अभी जो आधार होगा वो बेबी ऑफ मदर के नाम से आधार होगा, लेकिन इन फ्यूचर में जब हमको नाम चेंज करना है तो ऑथेंटिक आधार सेंटर
आप चेंज करेंगे तभी RCH में चेंज
which is there. Good morning everyone. My name is Shefali. I'm from the ABDM team. So quickly I will try to tell you what flow is there for child Aadhaar. Basically all your Aadhaar is always linked with your Aadhaar. Therefore there is a KYC process that happens. आप OTP से करते हैं, आप details देते हैं, face authentication करते हैं, XYZ. Alright? So when the child is born and they do not have any Aadhaar, as long as the child does not have an Aadhaar, आपका वो किसी पेरेंट के साथ लिंक करके उसका जो आभा बनता है उसको हम चाइल्ड आभा बोलते हैं, बाल आभा बेसिकली. दैट्स व्हाट वी आर डिस्कसिंग राइट नाउ. तो अगर किसी का आधार है तो उसका आभा ही क्रिएट हो गया. ऑलराइट. अगर नहीं है आधार तो दैट मीन्स प्राइमरली फर्स्ट नंबर पे हम प्रेफर करते हैं कि मदर के साथ लिंक हो. इफ देयर इज सम अदरवाइज सिचुएशन देन इट कैन बी लिंक्ड टू द फादर. थर्ड सिचुएशन टर्शरी इज whether you want to link it with a legal guardian. तो जब तक किसी भी चाइल्ड का आधार अवेलेबल नहीं है, KYC नहीं पॉसिबल है, तब तक आप उसके पेरेंट्स से लिंक करके उसका बाल आभा बनाएंगे. बाल आभा इज माइंडेड नॉन KYC रिकॉर्ड फॉर अस. हम हमेशा प्रेफर करते हैं कि जैसे ही आधार बच्चे का बन जाता है. So everybody knows the concept of बाल आधार as well as जब उनका KYC होता है 5 years below बाल and after that उनका आधार प्रॉपर बन जाता है. So whenever the child acquires their आधार, the parent can actually approach the program also. As you can see there is an option to complete their KYC. जैसे ही KYC complete होता है at that point of time वो जो child आभा था becomes the original KYC आभा. जैसे उसके पेरेंट्स का है वैसे उसका बन जाएगा बाद में. बट टिल देन व्हेनेवर दे डोंट हैव आधार और दे कैन नॉट वेरीफाई यूजिंग OTP एक्सेट्रा, उनका बायोमेट्रिक भी पूरा मांग नहीं रहता, अपडेट होता है. ये हम सबको पता है इन आधार. सो टिल दैट टाइम योर आभा इज कॉल्ड चाइल्ड आभा. वंस यू वेरीफाई इट इट बिकम्स आभा, नॉट आभा. सो आई होप दैट इट क्लैरिफाइज द क्वेश्चन. यस सर. So whenever you do re-KYC, meaning बच्चे का आधार आ गया, सब चीज वेरीफाइड है, he is coming here doing the verification, making it a KYC document record for us. So
గార్డియన్ పెట్టమంటున్నారు ఎవరో ఒక గార్డియన్.
RCH can be done on the portal, RCH portal.
yes, we have the ID. It's already there. It's already there.
ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏదో ఒక డేటా వేయాలి, మ్యాండేటరీ. ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడ అంటే ఇప్పుడు యాక్సిడెంట్స్లో వాళ్ళ సర్వీసెస్.
Sir, always requested everybody to actually, sir, from records point of view अगर मैं बोलूँ, I would really want that all the records, maximum of them are KYC until there is a situation otherwise. अब छोटे बच्चे जो पैदा हुए हैं उनका we have to track it and नहीं आधार, तो therefore we are giving that option. Sir, automatically नहीं हो पाएगा until and unless you come and verify. इससे ये कम होगा.
వాట్ అబౌట్ ఆర్ఫన్ अड़गे.
आप ये सोचो जो आप ऑटोमेटिकली की बात कर रहे हो, ABDM not only is integrated with the RCH, integrated with n number of applications. Is it really possible for ABDM to push the data automatically each and every time the some incremental changes happens in ABDM? It's not actually possible from a technical point of view.
ఇందులో అంటే వ్యాక్సినేషన్ చేసే పిల్లలేగా కావాల్సింది.
हाँ तो
5 years
इसीलिए जब बच्चे का जब नेक्स्ट सर्विस जब दिया जाएगा तो आप एट द पॉइंट ऑफ गिविंग सर्विस टू दैट चाइल्ड सीक डिटेल्स फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स कि आपने क्या इसका आधार बनवा लिया है. वो एफर्ट है बच्चे के लिए, वो एफर्ट है बच्चे के लिए. देखिए हम लोग RCH, मैं बता रहा हूँ RCH एप्लीकेशन क्या बना है, लाइफ साइकिल अप्रोच के लिए बना है RCH एप्लीकेशन. जो बच्चा आज जन्म पे RCH एप्लीकेशन में रजिस्टर हो रहा है उसको आने वाले टाइम में ये एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री के साथ में इंटीग्रेट होगा. जब बच्चा स्कूल कोई एज का होगा वहाँ बच्चे को ट्रैक किया जाएगा तो वो डेटा भी यहाँ से फेच होगा. तो इट्स नॉट कि आपने RCH रजिस्टर किया तो अगले 10 साल 12 साल तक RCH का डिटेल यूज नहीं होगा, वो यूज होगा. RCH पर्सपेक्टिव में वो जब बच्चा
मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि नहीं जस्ट 1 मिनट, ऐसा तो नहीं है, जस्ट 1 मिनट। ये बाल आभा का ये आपने जब उसका जनरेट कर दिया, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि एक बार आपने उसका क्रिएट करने का बच्चा कभी आपकी फैसिलिटीज पे सर्विस लेने तो नहीं आएगा क्या? आएगा ना कभी बीमार? नहीं, क्यों बिलो 5 इयर्स में अभी आएगा, बिलो 5 इयर्स में भी सर्विस ले, लेकिन जब वो आफ्टर 5 इयर्स के बाद सर्विस लेने के लिए आ रहा है, तो जब स्कैन करेंगे डिटेल्स आपको पता लग जाएगा कि बच्चा 5 इयर्स एंड अबव हो गया। तो आप ये उस समय यहाँ पे फील्ड फंक्शनलिस्ट को हमें थोड़ा सा सेंसिटाइज करना होगा कि जब भी आपके रिकॉर्ड में अगर कोई बच्चा 5 साल से ऊपर का आ रहा है सर्विस लेने के लिए, तो उस समय आप पूछ सकते हैं कि आपका क्या कहते हैं आभा बन गया है या
ये चीज मैं फिर क्लियर कर देता हूँ, RCH 2 एप्लीकेशन में RCH ID का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं रहेगा। मिनिस्ट्री इज स्लोली एंड स्टेडली मूविंग अवे विद द एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिफायर। मिनिस्ट्री स्लोली आभा ID के बेसिस पे जा रही है। फ्यूचर में इफ पॉसिबल वी विल मूव टू आधार बेस्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन, बट इंडिविजुअल एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन से हम लोग हट रहे हैं धीरे-धीरे। बच्चे का आधार अगर नहीं है, एक बात बताइए, 5 साल तक बच्चे का फिंगरप्रिंट्स अगर डेवलप नहीं होता है, इसीलिए एबीडी में ये क्लॉज रखा हुआ है कि 5 साल के पहले आपके लिए मैंडेटरी नहीं है आधार बनवाना। 5 साल के पहले अगर बनवा भी लेते हैं तो वो ब्लू आधार बनता है आपका, ब्लू कलर का, बाद में आप उस पर बायोमेट्रिक्स बच्चे का अपडेट करवाते हैं। अब इमेजिन, अच्छी बात है, हम लोग गुड सिटीजन है, हम लोगों ने बच्चा पैदा हुआ 2 दिन के बाद ही आधार एनरोलमेंट सेंटर पे लेके आधार बनवा दिया, ये तो हमारे एंड पे प्रोएक्टिवनेस है। बट इफ किसी बच्चे का नहीं बना, उनको भी तो सिस्टम में कैप्चर करना है ना। तो कुछ ये बाल आप यूं समझ लीजिए कि एक सॉर्ट ऑफ टेम्पोररी आईडी है, कुछ तो आईडी देना पड़ेगा बच्चे को एप्लीकेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। ये वो RCH ID नहीं होगा।
बानू जी, RCH ID का कॉन्सेप्ट है, आभा इसलिए जरूरी है कि APM कंप्लायंस है, तो हमारा कहीं भी यदि APM कंप्लायंस हॉस्पिटल में उन्होंने सर्विस लिया है तो कंसेंट लेके हम उसके EHR को कहीं भी देख सकते हैं। तो बाल आभा बच्चे का भी यदि आभा ID बना हुआ है तो इसके थ्रू हम किसी भी APM कंप्लायंस हॉस्पिटल में वो सर्विस लिया तो उसके को देख सकते हैं।
तो इसमें भी मैं आपको ICDS में भी वो भी ये सारी चीजें कर रहे हैं, स्टार्ट उन्होंने कर दिया। अभी सारे सिस्टम्स को थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है, वो लोग भी क्रिएशन और बाल आभा और आभा उन्होंने भी सारा प्रोसेस कर दिया, और जो हमारा पोषण के साथ जो इंटीग्रेशन है वो थ्रू आभा के ही थ्रू है। RCH ID जो चल रहा था, करंट हमारा RCH 1 में चल रहा है, और इनिशियली अभी जो हम RCH 2 के साथ जो इंटीग्रेशन था, ऑलमोस्ट हमारा पोषण की टीम कल थी, उनके साथ ऑलरेडी हमारी सारी चीजें फाइनलाइज हो चुकी हैं। जो भी हमारा डेटा एक्सचेंज होगा पोषण के थ्रू और RCH 2 में, वो थ्रू ओनली आभा ID।
It means that if you discuss about the part of the RCH portal 2.0, तो 5 साल तक तो हम एज पर आभा ID जो है, बाल आभा ID, तो उसमें हम सर्विसेज अपडेट करते रहेंगे। और इफ डेटा विल ट्रांसफर टू पोर्शन ट्रैकर, तो फिर उनको भी वो ऑप्शन रहेगा कि इफ दे नेसेसरी दे कैन चेंज एज पर आधार और बाल आभा, तो वो कर सकते। तो हमको तो फिर यहाँ पे ऐसा कोई कंपल्सन नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा जो सर्विस है वो 5 ईयर तक ही है। तो फिर जब बच्चे का आधार ID बन जाएगा, तब तक तो वो 5 साल उसका कंप्लीट भी हुआ होगा, फिर वो
15 साल तक
से वो तो बाहर हो जाएगा।
और आप लोग ये भी समझो कि RCH एप्लीकेशन ऐसा नहीं है कि बच्चे को आज रजिस्टर कर दिया तो RCH एप्लीकेशन, क्योंकि ये लाइफ साइकिल मोड पे चलेगा RCH एप्लीकेशन। तो जब वो बच्चा एडोलेसेंट एज में पहुंचेगा तो भी तो वो हमारे सिस्टम पे होना चाहिए। टीनेज प्रेगनेंसी को ट्रैक करना है, अगर उसको मिटिगेट करना है, तो वो बच्चा हमारे यहाँ ट्रैक रहेगा, तभी तो आप इशू को रिजॉल्व कर पाएंगे। इट्स नॉट कि 5 साल के बाद वो बच्चे का यूज ही नहीं होगा RCH एप्लीकेशन।
क्योंकि चल रही है कि हमें RCH 2.0 में हमें 0 to 18 ईयर्स तक के चाइल्ड को हमें ट्रैक करना है। तो अभी ये सारी चीज़ें हम लोग लेकर आ रहे हैं, तो अब हमें उसको ट्रैक करने के लिए हमें उसका फुल प्लस हमें आभा चाहिए। 5 साल के बाद हमें उसका आधार अगर बन गया तो आधार से उसका पूरा केवाईसी अपडेट करके उसका परमानेंट हम उसका आभा क्रिएट कर देंगे। वो फिर बाद आभा खत्म होकर के उसका केवल और वो उसकी पूरी होल साइकिल को उसको हम ट्रैक कर सकते हैं किसी भी एप्लीकेशन में। साथ साथ अगर वो बच्चा अगर एजुकेशन में जा रहा है, सेकेंडरी स्कूल एजुकेशन में जा रहा है, तो वो उसके लिए भी हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कशन हमें डायरेक्शन है कि उसके लिए भी ऑलरेडी हम डिस्कशन के प्रोसेस में हैं कि हम यूडाइस के साथ भी हम इंटीग्रेशन समझाएं, ताकि वो बच्चा उसको हम ट्रैक कर सके कि ठीक है मेरे सिस्टम पे आज ये है, अब ये यहाँ से स्कूल एजुकेशन में कि प्राइमरी एजुकेशन में गया कि सेकेंडरी की पूरी ट्रैकिंग है कि 5 साल से लेकर 18 साल तक तो उसने अंडर द हेल्थ सर्विसेज फैसिलिटीज उसने क्या क्या सर्विसेज ली। जब वो स्कूल एजुकेशन में शिफ्ट हुआ तो उसने स्कूल एजुकेशन में किस लेवल तक का उसने एजुकेशन लिया। अगर हम न्यूट्रिशन की बात करें तो पोषण ट्रैकर में हम उसको ट्रैक कर सकते हैं कि ड्यूरिंग दी इस पीरियड में उसने क्या क्या न्यूट्रिशन की सारी चीज़ें उसने सर्विसेज ली हैं। तो ये जब हम चाइल्ड एक बेनिफिशियरी का अगर हम पूरा होल साइकिल अगर हम देखें 0 to 18 ईयर्स तक, तो उसका हम पूरा कंटूर हम पूरा मैप हम देख सकते हैं कि वो कहाँ पे उसने वो किधर किधर गया और उसने क्या क्या सर्विसेज ली। एटलीस्ट मुझे उसकी होल पूरी साइकिल हमें पता है कि 0 to 18 ईयर्स तक का उसने क्या किया।
It means that कि RCH पोर्टल जितने भी पोर्टल के साथ लिंक है, तो इसमें से कौन से भी पोर्टल में अगर हम आभा आईडी से उनका अगर आधार आईडी हम चेंज करते हैं उनका नाम, तो ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल बी रिफ्लेक्ट टू
RCH टू
नहीं आभा आईडी आधार अगर हम एपीडीएम में आधार और ऑथेंटिकेशन करते हैं तो उसका रिफ्लेक्शन RCH पोर्टल में भी ऑटोमेटिकली आभा आईडी वही होगा ना, आभा आईडी वही होगा। हाँ आभा आईडी नहीं बदलेगा, बच्चे का नाम बदलेगा, वो
नहीं बदलेगा। आधार में जो नाम बढ़ गया और उसी के बेस पे अगर आभा जनरेशन हो गया तो वो किसी भी एप्लीकेशन में जाएगा, अगर वो एविडेंट कंप्लायंस है उसका नाम कहीं पे भी चेंज नहीं होगा, सेम नाम ही रिफ्लेक्शन होगा, सेम नाम ही दिखेगा। अगर मेरे RCH 2 में अगर आज
वो क्या बोल रहे हैं आधार में चेंज करे तो चेंज होगा ना, आधार में चेंज करे तो
वहाँ पे भी वही नाम दिखेगा, क्योंकि मैं आधार के साथ मैं वेरीफाइड हूँ। अगर वो
वैसा पूछ रहे हैं आधार में चेंज करे तो ऑटोमेटिकली चेंज होगा नहीं, हो जाएगा ना, वो सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, आंसर ही इसी में है।
सर अगर पोषण ट्रैकर में अगर मैंने वो नाम चेंज कर दिया एज पर आधार ऑथेंटिकेशन कर दिया तो सेम नाम
आधार है इनमें।
देखिए जब आपने पोषण ट्रैकर में आधार के साथ बच्चे का, देखिए इसमें 2-3 चीजें हैं। एक तो जब आपने बच्चे का बाल आधार आपने सिस्टम में क्रिएट करके मदर के साथ लिंक कर दिया, ठीक है। बच्चे का 5 साल के बाद आधार बन गया, अगर वो किसी भी एप्लीकेशन जैसे पोषण में 5 साल के बाद बच्चा अगर गया, जैसे 1 मिनट ओके, अब आफ्टर द 5 इयर्स सपोज करेंगे अंडर द RCH 2 में आई हैव क्रिएटेड द बाल आधार टू द चिल्ड्रन, ठीक है, linked to the mother. After 5 years, we have generated the through Aadhaar, उसका आधार creations कर दिया. Under the questions, we have created the Aabha through AY, उसका permanent कर दिया. When he comes to the RCH, I know the children has crossed over the 5 years. Then immediately my responsibility to authenticate to the Aadhaar. e-KYC in RCH 2 when immediately e-KYC करेंगे, immediately whatever Aabha is created, accordingly that Aabha will be reflected in the RCH 2 along with the demographic profile that we have updated in the portion track.
So let me summarize, because lot many discussions have happened. Any child who has got an existence, the birth has happened, that child will get a child Aabha, and that is created on the basis of the mother Aadhaar card, or if mother Aadhaar is not there, then the father's Aadhaar card can be used. A child Aabha ID is being created and it will continue up to the age of 5 years. After 5 years, child is entitled to get a independent Aadhaar. So once the child gets an independent Aadhaar, so child can have the on ID, on Aadhaar ID. So the child has the opportunity to get that ID created either in the health system or maybe in the Poshan tracker or any other, whatever way the Aadhaar IDs can be created. Once the Aadhaar ID is being created, any system will try to have access with the Aadhaar card of that child. It will be automatically reflected. If because we are in the health system, we are using the RCH 2.0 portal. So if child has got a Aadhaar ID created anywhere, and you are trying to see, and you will see that it is a child Aadhaar. So now the Aadhaar ID you have to create. When you will try to put the Aadhaar number, that ID automatically will be reflected. So you don't have to create, you have to only use that ID. So once it is created, it is for the lifelong. That will not change. So and since we are in the transition of RCH 1 to RCH 2.0, so this some overlap will continue for some time. So now the only two messages are here, that you have to create the Aadhaar ID for the child Aadhaar, and once the 5 years, then the system has the responsibility to convert it into the child, in the child Aadhaar to the Aadhaar ID. So this is the only two messages which are being given, and we have to follow it up to the age of 18 years. So that is why the Aadhaar is created. Child can get services from anywhere in the country. So that record will also stay with the health system.
Just 1 minute.
Many citizens of India or states, they don't know what is Aadhaar first. And the secondly, in the outreach, even the Aadhaar ID is created for the beneficiary, they don't know about the Aadhaar ID. Is there any facility in the RCH portal, whenever we input his or her mobile number, Aadhaar ID is reflected? Is there any provision there?
कल ही तो दिखाया सर्च फंक्शनैलिटी में, मोबाइल नंबर बेस पे भी सर्च है।
मेरा वो क्वेश्चन नहीं है सर। आधार आईडी बहुत सारे आउटरीच में बेनिफिशियरी है, उनका आधार आईडी क्रिएटेड रहता है, फिर भी डोंट नो, सिटीजंस डोंट नो व्हाट इज आधार आईडी बिकॉज ऑफ अवेयरनेस, आई थिंक सो. My input is that is there is any provision whenever we enter the mobile number, their Aadhaar ID get automatically populated in the portal.
कल रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म में ये दिखाया गया। आधार अगर आभा नहीं है, मैंने खुद बोला कि आभा मुझसे भी मांगोगे तो मुझे नहीं आता, मैं नहीं दे पाऊंगा। प्रैक्टिकलिटी ये है कि आप आधार नंबर दोगे, ठीक है, आधार नंबर दोगे तो भी आभा के बेसिस पे रजिस्ट्रेशन हो जाएगा। मोबाइल नंबर आभा ऑलरेडी
मेरा कहना है सर कि उसको आभा आईडी दिखना चाहिए जो रजिस्ट्रेशन कर रहा है।
बात तो सुनिए, आभा आईडी अगर ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड है, मोबाइल नंबर दे दिए तो भी आभा नंबर ढूंढ के ले आएगा। कल दिखाया गया रजिस्ट्रेशन,
वो दिखेगा पोर्टल पे दिखता है।
मोबाइल नंबर से जैसे सर्च किया था, 3 आभा बनेंगे तो तीनों आभा दिख रहा था उसको, दिखाएगा ना तुषार?
ये फ्लो है।
हाँ, सब कुछ। तो देखिए, अगर आपकी जो फिर भी स्टिल यू रिक्वायर एनी फर्दर क्लैरिफिकेशन, दैट विल बी डिस्कस सेपरेटली. आई विल टेक शो यू अगेन व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस एंड लेट अस stop this discussion on the child creation of Baba. We have to cover so many things. Now, Tushar, you continue on the child services. Take the further 50 from the
Right, thank you, sir. So next we'll go on to the child service module. Basically, in RCH, based on the date of birth of the child and when we are trying to give services to the child, the different modules will open up, which could be starting from either newborn, HPNC, which is home-based newborn care, HPYC, and so on. So for these purposes, for our demonstration purposes, we have actually created multiple beneficiaries. Here we can see Priya A, and which is the beneficiary female beneficiary, and then we have also created baby of Priya. So if we click on this beneficiary baby of Priya, we can see that the date of birth is 23rd of July. And based on this date of birth, when we try to give services to the beneficiary, we will be able to see that only newborn is enabled. Right? Because based on the date of birth and today's date, only the newborn services are applicable. So when we click on newborn services, again these details have to be populated, and of course the date of visit also has to be entered for every beneficiary, for every child beneficiary as well. When we click on next, then this form opens up, which is for the newborn care services. Some of the fields we can fulfill here. Let's say if we capture this value as baby cried immediately at birth, no, then the refer to higher facility drop down will get enabled, and this drop down can be used as a data capture point for also referring back to the referral module, which we'll talk about in some time. But for now, I'll just capture it as and if the child was admitted in either of these intensive care units, NBSU, SMCU, and NCU, or if not, then we can capture it as none. Any visible birth defects, so maybe we can capture one of these as well for the child. Next option was breastfeeding started within 1 hour of delivery. That also can capture details. Is the baby tested for HIV? So you can probably say non-reactive or not done on referred based on the outcomes of the test. And this syrup, whether this was started at birth for these ICTC referred pregnant mothers also, that also we can have. Then any date for HPIHT vaccination. Some of these vaccinations date needs to be captured and can be captured in RCH also. Any AE5 report during these vaccinations. Any death-related information that we want to capture, any treatment for diarrhea that was given, whether syphilis test was done or not in that case. So basically these are various data points that can be captured during the newborn care services. Once we click on save and finish, a new service for the child will be entered, and as a subsequently for the next set of services given to the child, it will be either newborn or HPNC or HPYC, based on when they come back to the facility for getting more services. So we'll go to the next beneficiary. We'll come here and we can see that there's some. Yes. So this child has another what can I say date of birth based on which we are able to see the HPYC option. But I just want to show the PNC options if it is available. Let us do this. Maybe I'll quickly add another child.
That same baby you can add now. 23rd is the booklet. Take
Yes,
another
got it. Correct, yes, correct. So yeah, so the same baby can be also given these HPNC or PNC child services. So when we click on this PNC child services, again these details need to be captured, and based on the date of service given, the visit number will change. So let's say if I select it as 23rd of July, then the visit number becomes 1. If I select it as 28th, it becomes 2nd, and 38th it becomes 3. So based on the visit date that we select, based on the day of birth and the current date, it will automatically calculate what is the visit number for this child service for PNC. When we click on next, then these forms will pop up once again. Any danger sign is present for the baby, we can select danger sign, or we can select multiple danger signs here in this case. Let's say if we select, then what is the whether that baby was referred to a higher facility or not. If we don't select any danger sign, then this is not mandatory. any visible birth defect also, once again it is asking for us for that information. And if a birth defect is seen, then it could be referred to a higher facility. If we change the status of the treatment as treated, then what was the treatment method employed for this specific use case? That also is captured. So yeah, so basically you can see that based on the visit date, the PNC service got added for the same baby. Now if we try to add another services for the same child once again, it will just keep on adding more rows based on whatever information is available or entered by the user. So this covers both the HPNC and the newborn module. Let's go to a child. So we can see that the date of birth for this child is captured as 23rd of April in this year. So when we try to add a service for this child beneficiary, the HPYC module gets enabled. Okay, and here also we can capture some of these data points for health provider and facility. And once again, we have to select the date of visit based on which the visit number will populate. And here we can put the weight of the baby, what is the length of the baby. Maybe I can keep. Yes. So based on this height and weight, the zone, growth zone of the child is also calculated automatically. So let's say if we give the length of the baby as, let's say, somewhere here, then it will automatically calculate the zone as well. But if you don't give it, then it will not be able to capture those values also. In the next section, whether the child is sick or not is something we can also capture as part of this field. So there are multiple options, and we can also multi-select multiple values. If we select no sickness, then of course there is no multiple values. Let's say if we select conversions, then whether the child is referred for that specific sickness or not, that also is a value we can capture here. So we'll just go ahead with no sickness for now. Whether yes, sir, we can do that. Just now we have done it for beneficiary also, we will do it for.
I would suggest these sort of whatever feedbacks you have regarding the suggestion for improvement or suggestion for change anything, please drop in as feedback, because we start taking on in an open forum, we will miss out the demonstration.
So all the
ये है कि मॉड्यूल वाइज बेसिकली आप अपने वो फीडबैक सजेशन जो भी हैं के अंदर दी चाइल्ड सर्विसेज जस्ट यू नोटेड डाउन एंड जस्ट यू highlight it under the different modules and we will take care of all those things.
So all the mandatory values for this form has been filled in, and we can submit it. So basically we can see now that the new row has been added for the HPYC services, and under that HPYC services the form details
यहाँ पे मिसिंग विजिट्स दिखाते हैं, मिसिंग नहीं दिखाते।
More or less the view is exactly similar to a beneficiary. For a child also the view is similar for services also. So in any of these forms, we might have seen that there are many fields which have a red asterisk next to the label of the field. So those fields, of course, you might be already aware that they are mandatory fields. Based on some selections or previous selections, the mandatory field display will not change. If the mandatory fields are not input by the user, then of course save the record or submit the record in the system. So of course that is a standard behavior for any application. Let's quickly go over through the mobile UI also. So here you can see that beneficiaries are visible both the adult beneficiaries as well as the child beneficiaries for directly navigating as well. So let's say if I select this beneficiary child of Priya, this is how the view of the child beneficiary looks like. Here we can see the profile details. The child services also we can see, we can try to add services directly for this beneficiary, and for this beneficiary child, the newborn service module is open. So all that is also there. Most of the details are already auto-populated, and the date of visit can be selected by the user once again. And of course, the MCP card module is also there. So any child beneficiary who is verified by ABA will be able to see their MCP card. This is the immunization module for a child. Any vaccination information which is captured from any external system, primarily UVIN, will be visible in the RCH system under the child immunization module. As you see, RCH 2 does not have a provision to add vaccine data for any child. It is going to rely only on the vaccination data received from UVIN to display the RCH. We'll talk more about it when we talk about the integration module towards the end of today.
Under this postnatal care, what is the mother part is not given, the child part is given.
Yes, so yesterday we talked about the PNC mother.
The data science is given. How do you see the mother postnatal?
Yesterday we talked about the pregnancy services for mother also, right? Here we can add a service for the PNC mother also. So under the mother beneficiary or the parent beneficiary, we can add services for the PNC mother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is a separate module for capturing services for mother, and for capturing services, PNC services for the child, we are having a different one.
The reason is first time high risk mother in the postnatal period. That comes under a separate entity. So that should be taken care of here, sir.
So basically it is a navigation, the health provider, whosoever is giving the service to either the child or mother or both, they have to decide whether I want to give services to the mother only this time or the child or both.
Both is combined. During the 42 days, both the mother are taking care.
Yes, ma'am. So basically the system provides the flexibility. Of course, the health provider will give services to both of them. The data capture in this case will be segregated for a mother separately and for a child separately, and can be viewed also separately. That is a big distinction from RCH 1 which we try to bring.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So this covers the child service module.
Sir, is it possible to generate the immunization certificate for a child? Immunization?
From us?
Immunization certificate. Not from RCH. Why unnecessary replicate the procedure? M3 compliance, as we all know, it's the display of the electronic health record. So right now we are M1 compliant. Over the period of time, we will be going to be M2 compliant also and M3 compliant also. So any other application who is M3 compliant, they can give our reports. Yes. That's why we have seen every beneficiary will be enabled, registered based on ABHA only. At that point of time, we are also creating ABHA address for the M2 compliance.
Okay, so the next module agenda is the family planning services. Basically, any beneficiary who is not having an active pregnancy
child deaths नहीं
given family planning services directly in the system. So, for example, this beneficiary, which we can see right now, this beneficiary does not have an active pregnancy, as we can see in the screen. In that case, the family planning module is enabled. We can click on add services. Once we click on add service, of course the health provider and facility details need to be captured. So here we have done that. You can also capture the ASHA name if it is tagged correctly. And the service state, so and then we can try to capture the family planning details. So here, what is the service state of the service? There are three different types of services which can be captured as spacing, temporary or terminal. We'll talk about it one by one. The temporary method covers these four contraceptive methods. COCs, Nirods, Chaya pills and PCP pills also. So these can be added as a service to the beneficiary and gets added as a record in the beneficiary family plan service also. Yes ma'am, we'll come to that in the next one. So,
asking when
we'll just see it right now.
you can show the options.
So if you want to add
Contraceptive type. What is there in spacing? The options are subdermal single rod, implant, IUCD and injectable. So three are here.
So all these methods are categorized based on the different categories under spacing, temporary or terminal. So in spacing we see that we have these three methods as ma'am just described. And then under the terminal methods, of course we have the sterilization. PPICD is given as part of the delivery module, because that is postpartum. So only delivery, during the delivery only PPICD can be accessed.
And sir, post-abortion, IUCD or sterilization?
Sir, can you please raise your hand? Yes.
Post-abortion, IUCD.
Yeah, so that is not, there is no distinction between IUCD versus post-abortion IUCD. So you can come directly to this module and add a row for IUCD.
The male sterilization is not male sterilization. Female sterilization and male sterilization.
Male sterilization will be visible once we come via a male beneficiary. Sorry, and then when we add the female sterilization method also, we have what type of sub method was used, whether laparoscopic or main lab, and what is the period for this female sterilization. And we are also doing a very small checkbox for FP compensation under the DBT scheme also, which is going to be implemented down the line. If we go inside each of these spacing or temporary terminal methods, we have a feature of adding a complication against each of these family planning methods. So let's say due to whatever reason there was some complication observed in the subsequent visit, that can be reported by the beneficiary. And what is the complication observed? That can also be captured by the health provider directly in the system. So some of these complication methods are given here. Of course, these are multi-select, and based on the selection, more options will open up.
Consent is required for
See, yesterday also this question was raised for abortion. Abortion, sterilization, these are the procedures. Procedure का consent दिया जाता है. डेटा एंट्री का कंसेंट मतलब प्रोसीजर का कंसेंट लेके डेटा तब जनरेट होता है जिस डेटा को हम लोग कैप्चर कर रहे हैं. तो स्टेरिलाइजेशन का एबॉर्शन का सो द कंसेंट फॉर स्टेरिलाइजेशन एंड एबॉर्शन दैट्स पार्ट ऑफ द हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट. द डॉक्टर्स दैट टेक द कंसेंट ऑफ द पेशेंट.
My question to everyone, like, in the methods, if we divide into temporary and permanent, isn't it better? Because your question was that where is the injectable? Then when you go to the spacing, then only. So it is a kind of more like one step is added. So we can simplify it into groups temporary and permanent. So we'll do it in future, but as of now it will go like this.
Ma'am, I have a question regarding the consent also.
Sir, any consent or sterilization has to be taken in hard copy with signature of the client or the communication. Digital, till now we have not.
It is not required in the RCH portal. That consent field is not required.
Complication you mentioned in that HMIS also, sir. Our complication का HMIS का भी report करते हैं ना, complications no, those are two different.
One say that after 6 months of validity, if a woman comes, all temporary methods can be given. All methods. So if we have other methods also, because oral pill and all are not included in this. So everything can be given after 6 months. All the contraceptives.
See, this module is for a female. It is not saying that postpartum. Nothing is mentioned. It is any woman who is not pregnant. She can avail. So we have listed everything. Can you show the basket again?
Spacing, I think it's spacing. All methods are not there.
See, there are 4 methods: combined oral contraceptive pills, then condoms, then centrom and ischia, and emergency contraceptives. 4 are here. Can you show the next one? Spacing, there are 3 methods: implant, IUCD, and injectable. And can you show the permanent terminal methods? So there is a female sterilization, since this is the module for the female. So male sterilization, when the male beneficiary is registered, it will be male sterilization and condoms. 2 things will be there. Okay, so they so here we can split it into 2, permanent and temporary, and then for the IUCD we can create whether it is an interval or it is a postpartum, as well as for the abortion services we have another field in which we have the which method also. So that will be there in that module.
And for injectable, ma'am, IM as well as SVC.
Yes, that we will do.
Ma'am, just one thing I would like to add. For the postpartum family planning, this is to be entered while this is to be captured while entering the delivery details. So once it's entered there, it will start reflecting under family planning module. So that's why postpartum we have not given separate entry for here, because it has to be captured at the time of entering the delivery details.
And Antara, subcutaneous and IM we will not keep because it is the same composition, only the quantity is different and they are interchangeable also. So it will be only Antara. It will not be subcutaneous or intramuscular. By route we will not create the fee. So the suggestion is well taken. In future we will do. Right now immediately it will not be done, but in future we definitely make these things.
It will be better because this module can be used in private also. So we'll put everything.
We'll discuss this. So next week.
So based on the selection of the methods, obviously some more details also need to be captured. So in case of implant, we have to capture the site of implant, and in case of IUCD, we have to capture 375 or 380, which method was used. And then in case of MPAs, based on the previous records in the system, the doses are auto-calculated, and the logic is also there that if there is a gap in more than a month or something, then it will reset back to the first dose to restart the dose cycle once again. So all these logics and validations are already put in the system, and yeah, so this is dose. So basically you cannot select it because there is no pre-existing record in the system. So it's just informing the user that this is the dose. Dose 1 is being, this record is considered as a dose 1 in the system because there was no previous record. Let's say this beneficiary came for another dose maybe in the span of 1 month, then it will be calculated as dose 2. If they don't come within 1 month, means it will get reset to dose 1 once again based on the logic.
No, this is not correct. This is not correct. Because for dose 1, if she is been given 1 dose, she will be returning after 3 months. her next due is after 3 months, or she might return after around 4 months also, because 1 month grace period is also being given. So this needs to be changed because we have to record those two. Yeah. No, so that's what I'm saying. It cannot automatically convert, and with the fourth dose, we have a different incentive. It is double incentive in fourth dose.
First dose is given suppose 3 months prior, and the beneficiary is coming after 3 months and within the 4 months future. Then it is treated as the second dose.
Yes.
If the beneficiary is coming after first dose, it is coming after 4 months. Then it should be considered.
It will be one first dose.
That's the logic it is.
Okay, so the system, once it is being given first dose, next time it will show the second dose. After 4 months, it will continue to consider as second dose. Afterwards, it will consider it as again as a fresh. That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, those are all the different types of family planning.
Sir, I think one part is missing in this, the removal. ICT removal.
Removal?
Yes.
Okay. Removal, yes. Discontinuation. ICT removal. And implant removal as well. Is it there? Okay. Will you demonstrate it?
Implant removal, I think, ma'am, they have not. We will fix it. Follow-ups will
Removal is not there.
Because after 3 months it is being removed. Implants once inserted, after 3 years it is removed.
फॉलोअप्स भी ऐड करना है ना मैडम? वंस IUCD इज सेटल फॉलोअप है, वो नहीं दिखाए थे ना?
Any suggestion from anyone?
ఫాలోఅప్స్ పెట్టాలిగా IUCD వేశారు. వాళ్ళు రిమూవల్ అడుగుతున్నారు, ఫాలోఅప్ లేదు చూపించలేదు. ఎక్కడ ఫాలోఅప్ అంటే ఏమైనా బ్లీడింగ్ ఉందా ఇవన్నీ చెక్ చేయడం కదా. రిమూవల్ అంటే 1 year.
No, that financial part will not come here.
And any compensation for the failure of
indemnity. Can you show us that indemnity complications?
Follow-ups.
Yes.
Under follow.
Following the sterilization, how many had the failures, complications, or any death?
Yes, ma'am, that is there. So at one of the. So if we go to the sterilization method,
Yes,
and we try to add some complication, you can see these are the various.
Failure, yes, bone sepsis, yes, it is there.
We can add multiple of these if we are selecting.
It is there. It is there.
request to add for the indemnity or the compensation.
No, that compensation will not be reflected here. It is only the outcome which we are capturing. That all things are the legal and documents which you have to maintain in physical form. All those formalities you do in your facilities, and they are even validated, they are verified, and that procedure you follow, whatever is prescribed by the Supreme Court. That whole thing cannot come here. We cannot digitalize it. There is a separate portal also, that how many meetings are being conducted, how many. So you have to upload that report on the portal.
And if referral services needed for these conditions or complications. That
We'll talk about it.
Referral, okay.
We'll talk about it in the next training.
We can add one more column here, referral.
That referral is different, but here family
So
planning.
in the referral module it is there, but then we have to go at a separate page. It is a little complicated. So once you finish the referral, then you can give the feedback. Once the referral module is over, then you can give the feedback.
Sir, in temporary method,